If you have some important things you want to get done this year and you really want to move the needle forward, there are some things you want to think about beyond just goals. I have some advice for you that not many other people are giving. I'll share that in a minute after I let you know what's going on with the book. Hi, it's Luci Gabel, your Leadership Optimal Performance Coach. As you know, I've written the book, Eat to Lead, soon to be in print. And if you've been following me or if you pre-ordered the book, my last video basically said that the book was going to be out over the holidays. At the end of October, I got my final draft back from the editor. It was ready to go to the next stage, which is setting up the book for print. But as I looked at it, something was missing. I got someone else involved for a second opinion. I had to go through the book one more time and do one final mass edit of everything. And we're all just about to finish that last round of edits. Literally, we're on the references section. I'm really happy with it now. It's actually in a state that I feel I'm very proud of, and I think you're going to really enjoy once you get it into your hands. Along these lines, I wanted to talk a little bit about timing and goals and some learnings that I had over the past year regarding how the brain works in terms of energy and productivity and stamina. And I even have some of this information in the book. You know, our brains have a limited amount of decision-making energy, creative energy, executive functioning energy, basically anything that you do that's not a habit or rote. And when we use that energy, we basically deplete it through the day. If you know that, then you know that you need to be protective about it, and you need to be selective about where you spend it. As I wrote the book, I was also putting these things into practice. I'm sure you've heard the wise phrase, if you want to be a high performer, saying no is often more important than saying yes. So in 2019, I put down a lot of other activities and work in order to make this book really happen in the timeline that I wanted. When I did that, as it turned out, I ended up spending about 8 to 10 hours a day on the book, depending on where I was in the editing process. I had to completely change my mindset from producing a lot of content fast to being patient and letting my brain work the way it needed to in order to produce the best experience possible for my future readers, you. And there's another lesson that I've learned that may be a little bit contradictory or a little different from what you've been learning from people who talk about leadership or excelling in life, and that is do the difficult thing first in your day. But I'm going to change that a little bit, and I'm going to say that you actually want to do the complex things first and the most important things first. So if you have a project or something that's really important to you that you know takes a lot of brain energy, that's what you want to do first in the morning. Things you want to put off to later in the day that may be hard but not necessarily complex would be something like calling people back or scheduling or small emails, maybe accounting, receipts. Personally, what I ended up doing was shifting all of my writing to the morning. What we don't want to do is use up our brain energy on little projects, little menial tasks that really could be done when we don't have as much brain energy left. So the lesson, the takeaway, is that if you have some important things you want to get done this year and you really want to move the needle forward, you need to be protective about your brain energy and selective about where you use it. But also be aware of your physical and mental energy levels throughout the day and try to do your most important complex tasks first, and be patient with yourself and your goals. Comment and let me know what you think about this topic, if you've had any experience with it. Like and subscribe if you want more videos like these, as well as my food videos and my exercise videos, more of those coming to you this year. And finally, if you'd like to be in touch with me more often, subscribe to my blog at lucifit.com.